The Sports Scouting Report with Lieber King, brought to you by Harvey Autos in Shreveport, Bossier City, the name you've trusted for years. Geico, the insurance savings you expect. Supreme Chevrolet, expect more from Supreme Automotive Group in Gonzales. Bollinger Shipyards, 75 years of delivering high-quality vessels. Here's your host, Lieber King.
Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you.
Coach Matthew Bruce. I'm the head strength and conditioning coach here at Catholic High School, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Thank you, Coach, for taking the time. I know you got a class right now pumping some iron every hour here at Catholic?
No, so we only have 2 athletic periods here at Catholic. We take academics extremely serious. So the only time we have athletics during the school day are first period and 8th period.
Okay.
So currently it's 8th period right now. But during 2nd through 7th, we're not allowed to work with our athletes during the school day because we just put a lot of emphasis on their school programming. With that being said, so most of our athletes come before school and or after school.
And I want to explain to people real quick that to the right of you statue, a very famous man here at Catholic High, Pete Boudreau.
Yeah.
I wanted to get his, I didn't even know they had a monument here for him.
Yep. And they dedicated this when they named the track after him. So the track is actually the Pete Boudreau track, and they just recently renamed the field to the Dale Weiner Field.
Okay,
so, honoring 2 greats.
Unbelievable. Pete's the nicest guy I've ever met in coaching.
Yep. And he technically retired last year.
Semi?
Yeah, but he's still on campus. He still has an office, if that tells you something.
Matt, tell everybody, I remember meeting you years ago at a gym on Monterey with Gail Hatch.
Correct.
Gail was one of the greatest ever. I know you would back that, the training guys, and you were in there, and you were part of 2 Olympics.
Correct.
Tell everybody about your background with Gail Hatch and how it all started for you as a strength guy.
So I actually went to school here at Catholic High, and in the 8th grade, Coach Carrier, who's at Zachary High School right now, he was my PE teacher, and he realized that I had maybe a talent that I could possibly bring to football. He knows I was strong for my age. So he sent me to Coach Weiner, who sent me to Coach Hatch in the 8th grade to start getting bigger, faster, stronger for football. And it turns out that I was actually really good at weightlifting. So I stuck with weightlifting, didn't play football. Stayed with Coach Hatch for 17 years, and I made 2 Olympic teams, 2008 and 2012. I was the alternate on both of those teams.
That's a big achievement, Coach. That's talk about, you were a strong guy. You don't get to the Olympics by being weak.
Right.
You remember any of your top cleans and stuff like that?
Yeah, so my best snatch was 153 kilograms, which is 340 more or less. And my best clean and jerk in training was 440
And what was your weight mostly?
My first Olympics, I was a 169. The second Olympics, I weighed 185.
Triple your weight.
Yeah, close to it.
Unbelievable, man. You're like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So you're here now at Catholic, you're alma mater, and we were talking just for fun. The weight room's incredible. I took some video of it to show people, pictures of the front. Some strong kids came out here. Emory Jones, you said, was one of the strongest you've seen since you've been here?
EJ was a very strong, naturally strong kid. This year we had Irv Smith, was probably our strongest competitor. He cleaned 315 at our liftathon over the summer. But probably the most impressive thing I've ever seen is we have a student here who's a sophomore, Jaden Miles. As a freshman, he cleaned 295.
Wow, big running back coming up.
That's never happened in the history of Catholic High, and we've had some greats come out of this school.
I saw him 2 years ago just standing on the sideline.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've never seen a running back that tall, that built at Catholic.
Yeah, and what's great is he also has the work ethic to back it up too.
And I'm so glad to hear that. Sounds like he could be a big Adrian Peterson or a big, taller Fournette before he's done.
We have high hopes for Jay Miles.
And you say that as a sophomore, 295? 315 or 295?
No, he's currently at 295 as a sophomore, but he'll be well over 300 by the time he graduates.
Goodness gracious. And he's a long arm guy, right?
Yeah, long arms, long legs, long limb guy. He's just genetically extremely gifted, very powerful.
The most impressive thing you told me off camera was that championships are built on strength of the overall team. And you said 58 players last year cleaned over how much?
225. So our biggest predictor of how well our football team will do is how many athletes we have that will clean over 225.
Wow.
225 is basically our marker. That would be 245s on each side of the bar. And we had 58 guys clean over 225 or more, right? So if you think of that from a football standpoint, if I got 58 guys on the sideline I can choose for that can all clean or pick up and bring to their chest 225 pounds, those are guys that I can trust on the field, right? And when you have a depth like that of 58 guys, right, you can go late into the fourth quarter and really be able to continue to wreck house.
The advantage of being on campus, Matt, having this strength program, I saw it in the 80s when West Monroe started it. They were one of the first way back in the day, and then Zachary got their place and a few others across the state. I mean, you can give dietitian advice, you can give every advice, right, to these young men coming up, all sports?
Correct. Well, you have to be careful with dietitian advice, right?
But I mean, as far as eating, working out.
Right, you can give them general guidelines,
General.
but as far as law in Louisiana, we can't give them direct
Right.
dietary advice, right?
Right.
But yeah, we try to lead them on the right path, talk about water consumption, talking about calories and eating the right calories. We actually work with the cafeteria here to give them a more nutritious meal, and especially like on game day. They were eating chicken fingers on game day, and we talked to the cafeteria staff about trying to give us a more healthier meal, right? And they were glad to work with us to accommodate for that.
Anything you want to tell about your weight room? I know we did some videos on it that we're going to show, but what are you most proud of with the facility here?
Yeah, we're very blessed to have 2 weight rooms here on campus, right? So we don't have one sport waiting for another sport to finish. The newer weight room, the Grizzly Great weight room, has 20 platforms. And our other weight room has 16 platforms. And the beauty of it is we use free weights. If you notice, we don't have any kind of machines, any cable machines, nothing like that there, right? Everything we do is with free weights. The same way that Coach Gail Hatch taught me and many others, that same methodology is what we carry over here to Catholic High.
I'm just blown away because, Matt, when I was in high school playing football, our weight room was in the gym, and the gym was first, and it was like going in a cave.
It was like that when I was in high school here. When I was in high school,
like you'd find a 25-pound weight somewhere and maybe a 15-pound weight.
When I was in high school, before that building was built, the weight room was over there with no air conditioning, and I think they had 4 or at the most 5 platforms.
Wow.
And here we are with 36 platforms about 20 years later. So it just shows you how much strength conditioning has developed in the state of Louisiana. Currently, there's only maybe 2% of high schools that have a full-time strength coach. But like you said, those schools that do invest in a full-time strength coach are really starting to separate themselves from the pack with their development of their athletes around their whole athletic team.
Let me ask you this, because I know every position in every sport, you might have to be a little bit differently on training these guys. Like, you don't want your quarterback to be all bowed up like a linebacker, unless he's, Terry Bradshaw coming up. But I mean, there is a different plan, right, for depending on the position of these guys?
Yes and no. So in the end, we're training high school athletes. So you have to remember that. We're training kids from 12 to 18 years old. And at that point, they have testosterone and hormones pumping through their body. So for the most part, all of our athletes do the same things. They all power clean, they all front squat, they all back squat. The core base of the program stays the same across all of our athletics. The biggest difference would be what are the smaller things that those guys are doing. Our quarterbacks are doing a little bit more extra rotational work within their workouts. Our baseball guys are doing a little bit extra rotational work, right? So the core workout stays the same, right? Because we all got to get bigger, faster, and stronger no matter what position you play. But the little things here and there that separates by position group, or if they're trying to gain weight or lose weight, or increase mobility, or decrease tendonitis in their knees, that's where it would change. More the littler things is what changed.
What advice would you have for parents with kids coming up, pre-teens or getting into football or whatever sport?
My advice
when it comes to like training, like exercise and lifting, like the balance.
Yep. So my advice would be to try to get them with somebody to start learning some of these movements, right? So most families are familiar with the traditional movements like a squat or a bench or a deadlift. But here at Catholic High, like I said earlier, the biggest predictor of our success of our team is with the power clean. Now, 98% of the kids that I get in here, freshman and 8th grade year, have never seen or heard of a power clean in their life, right? So I think if you want to try to get your kid to a higher level as far as to be prepared for high school, I would get them in with a coach that understands how to teach those types of movements, right? So that they're prepared for that. There's a guy in town, Will Bujunda, Bujunda. He's got a program that's great with teaching the youth athletes, so they'll be prepared for high school. And then we also run a middle school program here every day from 5 to 6 p.m. in the afternoons that basically I take middle school kids in, teach them the fundamentals of lifting so that when they get to high school that they're prepared for what to expect from the high school setting.
Matt, you basically live here.
I do. I laugh, but I'm the first one on campus. I get here at 5:30 every morning,
one to go, huh?
and I'm the last one to go. But like I said earlier, it's because we have most of our groups before school and after school, right? So during the middle of the day, I go and eat lunch, and I have a lot of time to myself. But yeah, I am here. I'm the first one. I open the gates in the morning. I'm usually, unless there's an event here, like a game, I'm the last one locking up the gates.
Well, Matt, keep doing a great job, man.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
All right.
Thanks for watching the Sports Scouting Report with Lieber King.